Finally, students, I am here to discuss the topic of immunity. Keep focus. On the left side of this page, we will write down the related MCQs, which will cover all the topic related to this immunity. First of all, we will talk about the historian aspect. What about the history of immunity? Do you know, students, the idea of immunity was given by a Greek scientist. It is pronounced as Thucydides. And then further, the idea was followed by another scientist, Edward Jenner, who is famous for about the discovery of vaccination. Actually, Edward Jenner gave the idea that if a person occasionally is affected by a virus of cowpox, it is a virus, then it would not be affected by the virus of smallpox. This is the idea. Even the MCQ about which kind of MCQ? The MCQ is this, that the cowpox virus generate the immunity for smallpox virus. This is the idea, and this is the history of immunity. And according to the anti-test aspects, we have different kind of terms which relate to this immunity. For example, first of all, we will purely talk about the immune response. Are you listening? Immune response. What do you mean by the immune response? This word is simply described with the keywords of like if any foreign particle enters into the body and body generate the antibodies against to that foreign particle or antigen. Okay, I'm gonna repeat this definition, the definition of immune response. If any foreign particle or foreign object enters into the body and body generate the antibodies against to that foreign particle or antigen, this whole statement describe the word of immune response. And the word of antigen itself described. Anti mean antibodies and generate mean to produce something. So anything which enters into the body and responsible for the generation of antibodies, that particle or object is called antigen. Well, in the same sense, the next term is immune. Are you focusing? Just like that, the both words are quite similar, immune response and immune. But what is immune? Immune means safety against the germs, against the microorganisms. Okay, next term, immunity. Now we have the concept of immunity. Protect the body. What I am saying, protect the body from any kind of damaging. Are you saying that how these terms are quite similar? Immune response, immune, and immunity. In the last we would have immunology, and it's quite simple. The study of immune response is called immunology. This is the idea. And all these terms mostly are given in the anti-test. And most of the students blend these terms, like what was the immune response, that production of antibodies, what was immunity, what was immune, it was just the safety, what was immunity, protection against from the damaging, and in the last we just talked about the immunology, the study of immune response. So students, next we will describe the theme of immunity with the help of simple diagram. Actually, what is the idea? Let's suppose it is a microbe. It is a simple microbe and it wants to enter into the body. Whenever it tries to enter into the body, it will face the first barrier. This first barrier is called first line of defense. If the first line of defense would be unable to stop the entrance of this microbe, it will enter into the body. It will enter into the body. But here, this microbe will face the second line of defense. Now here you have the second line of defense. Have you noticed something, students? The first line defense is actually located outside of the body, or it may be it is located maybe at the surface of your body. But the second line of defense is found inside of your body. That's why in most of the books it is written as an that second line of defense is intra body response, inside body response. Sometime that microbe again would also cross the second line of defense. Now maybe it will again or circulate into your blood. Maybe it will enter into the cells of the body, and here it will face the third line of defense. So here we just generate the new idea that what is first line of defense, what is second line of defense, and what is the third line of defense. So students, now purely we will talk about the first line of defense. What do you mean by the first line of defense? Actually, the job of the first line of defense. First line of defense. The first line of defense will try to place the microbes outside of the body, or you may call place the microbe at their original location or initial position. This is the job of the first line of defense. And always keep remember, the first line of defense is defined by a single keyword which is called barrier. So students, if you want to place the microbes at their original spots or position, then you will have to place some kind of barriers. There are two types of barriers: skin and mucus. All you know about the location of the skin. So first of all, we will talk about the contribution of the skin. And here I will also show that how you can draw the simple diagram. Here I am just showing the thickness of the skin. This is the epidermis. This thickest part is called dermis. And beneath to this, there is a layer of fatty tissue which is called hypodermis. This is the hair, and this is the base of the hair. At the margin of the base of the hair, there is a sac-like structure which is called hair follicle. This is the hair follicle. And here some kind of smooth muscles are attached with this hair follicle, and these smooth muscles are called erector muscles, which make the erection, which is generally called the goose pump. Just beside of the hair follicle, there is a gland which is called sebum gland or sebaceous gland. This sebaceous gland produces the sebum. And at the hypodermis, there is a special type of gland which is called sweat gland. This is the sweat gland. And just like the whole body, here we also have the blood supply. You may show by the venous blood supply with the help of blue color, and similarly you can show the arterial blood supply with the help of this red color. And there are special ducts which empties these secretions at the surface of the skin. So this is the general profile. Skin itself is a barrier, but the products of these glands, I'm talking about the product of sebaceous gland and the product of sweat gland. Everybody knows that sweat gland produce the sweat, which is rich in lactic acid. Lactic acid definitely will produce the lower pH at the surface of the skin. That's why the microbes cannot grow or reside at the surface of the skin. So this is the contribution of the sweat gland. Similarly, sebum, which was produced by the sebaceous gland. Actually, sebum is a kind of oily substance, and this oily substance contains fatty acids. It also lowers the pH. So due to this lower pH, a microbe cannot grow at the surface of the skin. Besides of these chemical secretions, at the surface of the skins, there are many dead cells, and these dead cells are called keratinocytes. These keratinocytes produce the keratin, tough fibrous protein, which produce the dryness. Due to the lack of moisture, microbes cannot grow. So overall, skin and the products of the skins, which are coming from the sebum gland, sebaceous gland or the sweat gland, all these factors produce a complete barrier for the microbes. Well, in many books, the types of sweat gland has been given. This is the point which purely relates to your anti-test session. Like there are two types of sweat gland, apocrine and merocrine, not the mesocrine. They are the merocrine glands. There are the slight difference between the location of these apocrine glands and merocrine glands, but you can also make a difference that apocrine glands produce some kind of milky secretions, while the merocrine produce some watery secretions. So this is a simple point. Okay, next barrier is the mucus. Okay, now I'll explain the point of anti-test. Mucus and the word mucus. Actually, these mucus, the word this word is showing the mucus producing cells, which are generally called the goblets. And now you can percept that where the mucus is found, inside of the digestive tract and as well inside of the respiratory tract. First of all, we will describe the function of the mucus in the respiratory tract. Keep focus. In respiratory tract, the mucus, which is located into the nasal cavity, when the particles are entrapped in this mucus, which is found in the nasal cavity, this mucus is swiped towards the pharynx, and through here it will further move towards the stomach. That's all. Okay, the mucus which is found in the trachea, it is swiped out towards the pharynx, and again from the pharynx it will enter to the stomach. And here the mucus containing the microbes are completely dissolved. And there is a list of chemical barrier, like I am talking about HCl produced in the stomach by the parietal cells, and I am talking about all the other gastric secretions and as well as intestinal secretions. All these products are called the chemical barrier, which directly kill the microbes. Thank you so much for listening. Keep focus and keep share the idea. Next, we will talk about the second line of defense. Wish you good luck.